Hello everyone, this is Lou with Beauty and More by Lou. Kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the meningioma hormone link. Kind of wanted to share my experience and my opinion on that, so stay tuned and we'll talk. First of all, I've done a lot of research about meningiomas and what I have learned through my journey. When they took my brain tumor out, my meningioma, they sent it off to pathology, and when it came back that the tumor was about 65% progesterone and 35% estrogen. What my neurosurgeon told me is that, of course, meningiomas, as you know, are very slow growing tumors, generally for the benign meningiomas. Mine, thankfully, was benign. But he said that, because I asked him when, we found out that I had the brain tumor, I said, how long has it been there? And he said, they're very slow growing. He said, you could have had it for 20 years. There's no real way to know. So that got me thinking that, okay, let me backtrack a little bit to the point when I was about 18 years old. I had a lot of issues with my female part of my system. And so, I had lots of issues, and after I had my daughter when I was 22, my gynecologist at the time said, okay, we're going to put you on some hormone therapy. He started me out with Depo-Lupron. So the Lupron, it was like 6 months on, 6 months off, so I got a shot once a month for 6 months. And then I rested for 6 months. And basically what the gynecologist told me it did, is that it put my body kind of like in a state of a temporary menopause. Again, at this time I was like 23. It was right after I had Jackie. Said that it would, put my body into a temporary state of menopause where basically my female system would shut down. And then after the 6 months where I was off, he said, we can do it again, kind of see how things go. Well, I did about 4 series of the Depo-Lupron, and after that I took a little bit of a break, and then I took Depo-Provera shots because I was having lots of issues with, I'm not going to go into details, but let's just say that it wasn't pretty. So he put me on the Depo-Provera. I continued that for about 10 years or so. And yeah, and so of course after that is when the tumor apparently, took on a growth spurt and started causing the problems. After the tumor, I actually asked the neurosurgeon, and I said, well, what's going to happen with, because I wasn't sure, He said, go talk to your GYN about it. So I did. I remember the first appointment after my brain tumor surgery. It had been a while since I had been to a gynecologist because my brain up there was acting up. So it was a new gynecologist. My old one passed away. He was an older gentleman. So the new one went in to go see him, talked to him about the tumor and everything, and he had asked me, he said, how long were you on the hormones? And I said, it was a very long time. I said it was, over 10 years with just the Provera. And he said, what? He said, how long? I said, yeah. So he just kind of looks at me and he said, what? He said, tops 2 years. And I told him, I said, well, even before that, I was on Depo Lupron for about 4. And he's like, oh, no. He said, no. So I asked him, I said, well, what am I supposed to do? Because, the hormones, I was not doing anything in the feminine department for so long. I said, what am I going to do now? Just went through brain surgery. I certainly, he said, no, he said, you can never take hormones again, period. And I was like, oh, okay. He said, yeah, anything soy you have to avoid because soy mimics hormones. And since my tumor was made up entirely of hormones, he said, he said, because the recurrence rate could easily, kick in and you could get another one. So I have to watch the hormones. But basically what I wanted to say to you, be careful if you are on any kind of hormone. There's been so much research to see if there is a link between meningiomas and hormones, and they're coming up with some interesting information, such as generally about 70% of meningioma tumors are progesterone receptive. Definitely hormones. So my thing that I really want to stress to you is just be careful with the amount of time that you are on hormones, whether that be birth control, pills, anything that's going to have hormones going through your body. Be careful. Meningiomas are becoming much more prevalent. Just watch the hormones, y'all, because it can really mess you up. There's definitely a direct link between the two, generally for women. Now, men, they are still doing research because meningiomas are more prevalent in women than they are men. So, but there are men that get them. So they're still doing research as far as the male meningioma population is concerned, but they do know that there is a link between hormones and meningiomas in women. I was on the birth control to control endometriosis. I was not on it for the birth control, not to have a baby. But they were trying to basically treat one thing, but it backfired. And of course the doctor who had done the shots, he was an older gentleman, and I don't think he knew or realized that pumping all those hormones is gonna cause issues in other ways. And I kept getting told that you're too young to get a hysterectomy, so let's just give you shots. Yeah, well, look what happened there. So, again, just be careful if you are on hormones for a long period of time. You know, there are other ways to have a child. You know, I'm adopted, and I'll do a video on that story so you can hear that backstory. I'm telling you, y'all, my life, I could write a book. I really could. There's a lot of things that's happened to me, and it's, you know, just different things that are like, wow. So, I mean, I look back at my life and think, doggone, that was me. So, anyway, be careful with the hormones. I hope that helps. You know, the whole brain tumor journey, I mean, you think about it and you think, wow, that was a big thing, brain tumor. In some ways, though, it was a blessing, because everything that I went through brought me to where I am now. And even though I do have some deficits, and, you know, it's not enough to stop me. And I have learned to appreciate life, to appreciate the blessings. So appreciate every day, y'all. When you've been through a life-changing experience like that, it gives you a new perspective on things. Don't sweat the small stuff. You know, this too shall pass, okay? But the fact that you're here, and right now it's a sunny day, it's beautiful, it's definitely springtime, and it's one of those days where you just look around and say, wow, you know, life is good. Be a light in somebody's day, and be sweet. You know, the world needs some sweetness, okay? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I hope I helped you in some way, you know. That's all I really am doing. This is, I just want to help. So anyway, take care, love ya, and I'll see you in the next one.